Alright, hello, welcome to this video about Sha Bang modules, and today I'm going to be talking about the polyrhythm clock and giving you, we're going to go into a little bit deeper dive, and I'm going to give a couple of examples for how to use it. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about some basics about this clock, and it's unique and very versatile. But but you can still kind of think of it as like a clock that does multiplication and division, except these different tuplets are embedded within each other. So what that means is uh, this tuplet 1 rhythm will affect the tuplet 2 rhythm, and tuplet 2 will affect the tuplet 3 rhythm. And so you could think of these ratios as fractions that are multiplying the main clock. So 120 beats per minute. If I do a ratio of 2 to 1, that means it's going to happen at twice the speed, 2 times 120. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. First, I just wanted to explain or give a little demo of how this will work. I have just a sine wave and an envelope, and I have 4 of them all going into this mixer, and they're being controlled by the polyrhythm clock. So right now they're at different pitches, so you'll hear a chord, and they're all happening at the same time. Everything is a 1-to-1 ratio here. So just as a beginner example, I'm gonna do I'm going to start off with this, and then I'm going to move this up to 2 against 1. So what happens is, let's turn off 3 and 4. You can hear if you're thinking of this in terms of musical notation, there's a quarter note, and one clock is doing a quarter note, and the other one is outputting eighth notes. Now what happens if I do the tuplet 2? I'm going to also do 2 against 1. So now tuplet 2 is actually happening at twice the speed of tuplet 1. So that essentially makes it 16th notes. And finally, tuplet 3, you can probably guess, it's going to be twice the speed as tuplet 2. Let's listen. So that should be 32nd notes. Okay? So that's kind of you can basically come up with, it's very versatile in the sense that you can come up with like any kind of crazy embedded rhythm. But one way is, what about going slower? So if I'm doing, let's say, these rhythms increase their speed as I kept going down, but what if I wanted to do half of that, like as in dividing the clock? What I would do is this other side. Think about it again as fractions. So now I'm doing 1 divided by 2, essentially, half. And then same thing here. And let's hear what 3 sounds like. And we're hearing that at half the speed of tuplet 1. And then, whoops, 2. So that's basically like doing division there. Let's sing it up here. So anyway, I wanted to start off with that simple little example before we dive into something more complicated. Okay, so what I have here is trummer. I'm using a hi-hat sound here. I'm using bass drum and snare here. I'll get to those later. But what I'm going to do is use polyrhythm clock and feed it into RAND gates, 4 possible inputs. And RAND gates will randomly pick one of those inputs as the rhythm going to the hi-hat. So what I'm going to do is trigger it every quarter note at 120, And I'm going to do 2 of these because I want this to be my main rhythm, and I also want it to be eighth notes. And I'll put that there and that there. And as you can see, this tuplet 1 is playing twice as fast as 120, so you can think of that as a multiplier, or you can think of it as eighth notes, however you want to think about it. And tuplet 2 and 3, since they're 1-to-1 ratios, or fractions, if you will, then they'll be playing the same speed as tuplet 1. So we should hear only eighth notes, because those are all the possibilities going in. And that's what we get. So what I'm going to do here is, if I select the bottom duration of this tuplet, then I can basically create a triplet this way. I want to do it this way because of how I'm going to mess with tuplet 3. But let's just listen to that. We should hear some nice triplets. Okay. And then now I want like some sort of real fast, almost like rolls or something. And I'm not too concerned about like some sort of nice even either triplet or duple thing. So I'm going to do like I'm going to actually use a really high number like 13 here. And what this is like it's supposed to play 13 notes in the space of 6 coming from, and this 6 is of tuplet 2. So for every 6 notes, or the space that it takes for tuplet 2 to play 6 notes, tuplet 3 will play 13 notes. Hopefully that makes some sense. Yeah, so we get that like a little roll or something. And I actually want it kind of broken up, so I'm going to change the probability, lower it a little bit to, yeah, there we go. Okay. And then now I also added a stock sequence 4, and I'm just using the top 2 rows to play like a bass and snare drum sound. So I'm gonna control that with the eighth note thing here. Let's see what that's like. And the other cool thing is I'm gonna use, let's see, I kind of want the hi-hat to kind of change its decay, like as if you're lifting the hi-hat or with the pedal. Let's see here. So I'm going to use this. There we go. And I'm going to modulate this decay right here. So let's do that. Now let's see what we get here. So we're just getting random voltages from here. There we go. Increase that. Now if I put a little probability into that one, the triplet. Nice. Okay. Okay, so for this final example, I was going to do a little demo of Steve Reich-style phasing. And so the setup here is just the resonator from Audible Instruments, and this one, they're both identical, just two voices. And what I'm going to do, I'm using this stochastic sequencer 4, and I want these first two rows here to be kind of working in conjunction. The top row is the rhythm, so I have the gates plugged into the strum, and the bottom row is the second row here is the pitch, so I have that going into volts per octave. And I want to duplicate that for this other instrument, so I'm going to also use the keyboard shortcuts here. Just copy that, paste it there. I'm going to copy this one, paste it there, and you can find the keyboard shortcuts in the manual, because there's a few. I mean, other than the basic, copy and paste type stuff, there are other ones like shifting the pattern and stuff like that. Anyway, so yeah, I have the gates going to the strum there and volts per octave there. So now I'm just going to use two outputs from Polyrhythm Clock. One from here, which controls this rhythm, and it needs to control the pitch. They're supposed to be in conjunction with each other. And then this one's going to control rhythm there and pitch for the second voice. Now I have this, the way the phasing actually works, and in this case I'm using a similar pattern from drumming, and but like if you listen to like piano phase or marimba phase, it's just two players, and then one of them gradually speeds up. And so they're playing the same pattern. One of them speeds up slightly, and then at some point they lock into a new pattern when the player gets a full eighth note ahead or 16th note ahead, however you want to think about it. So I need a way to speed up slowly, and that's why I have this large fraction here, or it's not really a large fraction, it's just 1 to 1. But what I'm going to do is I'm using my keyboard here, and a full 2 octave will control these different ratios. So what I'm going to do is a 1 to 1, and then drop it down to 24/23, which creates a slightly faster rhythm. And then when it locks in, I'll go back to 24 against 24, which is just a 1 to 1 ratio. So let's just listen to it to kind of get an idea of what it should sound like. So that's them playing in unison, and I'm going to do it again, and then this time we're going to do a little bit of phasing. Okay, so you get the idea. So yeah, those are two examples, or actually three if you count the very first one. But and I hope this helps with your use with Polyrhythm Clock some. And also the original piano phase, they would actually, the person phasing would come all the way back around to where they're back in unison. So the rest of this video, I'm gonna have that play out here, with maybe some cool little, dimming the lights as well. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video and if you use Sha Bang modules and like to use them, please consider donating to PayPal. I'll have a link below in the description, and or you can sponsor the project through GitHub sponsors, and I'll also have a link below. So all right, enjoy.